That's just because you have a love for Mythic. You've always been Mythic's biggest fan.
You can't say that.
I just said it. It's going to be the intro to the podcast.
Okay, true.
Welcome to the Backpost Podcast, powered by the 8-Bit Nation. And now, your hosts, Shade, Bacon, Pitch.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Backpost Podcast. It's a little different. We're in our own league, you know. We got video. So there's Bacon. I think you're down there, right?
Yeah, you're up there.
You're down there. And we're kind of gonna go over a new format. We got 2 leagues to go over. Same amount of teams as the last time we did this, right?
More teams. Oh wait, no. Like the last time we recorded for this, the little pre-thing we did.
No, like the whole thing. How many more teams do we have?
We had 22 teams over 3.
Okay.
Here we have 24 total.
24.
12 in each league. Prism and Pixel.
Right on.
So yeah,
we've been killing it with our streams lately. Thanks to all of our streamers, they're crushing it. We're having a great time over there. If you haven't followed it, go follow the stream. It's a good time. I mean, I doubt there's anyone in this Discord or this league that hasn't followed it.
Well, there's got to be some.
It's been crazy.
We got like 220 something people in 8-bit, and we got like 100 followers. You know, so there's definitely some room, but not everybody's in the league.
But league-wise, I think it's about everybody.
League-wise, yeah, people are killing it.
Yeah,
you guys have been great with the views. I want to focus on that because there's been people that have donated subs and all this and that. It's people showing up to the streams.
Yeah, that matters.
Like we had talked about on stream, it's supposed to take 7 days to be able to get affiliate at minimum. We got it in 4. You guys had us on the front page of Searching Rocket League. There was one point during a stream we were number 2 in viewership for Rocket League. You guys absolutely peaked the Twitch, and Twitch responded to that by giving us affiliate. Yeah, like after 4 streams. So that was massive. I mean, we're well on the way to partner. That's a stretch goal. If you guys can get us an average viewership of 75, that'd be wild. But, you know, all that aside, it's just about exposure. The gameplay you guys are going to bring, the more people watching the Twitch, the more random people we're going to get to click on it and see things. That's more talent into the league and more opportunities for you. So we've had other community members reach out because they stream. Like Lil Mello is somebody who reached out wanting to let us know that he streams and if he could plug the league there. Great. So he's in self-promotion doing his thing. Let's get some 8-bit people out there. And anybody else that streams, do the same thing. We are a community. It's not just 8-bit. We want everybody to do it. If you're streaming, let us know. Let people show up for you.
I think I've gotten everybody who's put into the self-promotion linked to the bot to auto alert everybody that they're streaming. So even I think I got Nels with a link to his TikTok when he goes live as well.
Yes, I saw that. I think it was really early this morning. We're recording this on Wednesday here. It was either yesterday or today that he went live, and I saw the update for Twitch and TikTok. So I thought that was funny because, as I've said, that's my favorite TikToker. So go Nels. But yeah, so like Shade said, we're here with our league. We're doing it. Prism, Pixel, all the things we've had the drafts. We are days away from the season actually starting, Shade.
Yeah, we have our game scheduled for Monday.
We do. Yes, first game.
And I believe Bard took that stream.
He did.
Quickly.
So yeah, that's going to be exciting. get the season kicked off, and that's just one of 12 games that we'll have. So we're going to get into all that, but first we did want to touch on the last episode we put out. We talked a little bit about who's doing what, but it really wasn't an all-encompassing conversation. So we wanted to touch on who's doing what for the league. That way, if you guys do have questions, concerns, suggestions, anything like that, you know who to reach out to. Because right now, because I'm the one that's very active and putting updates, a lot of people DM me. Or Shade's the one that's organizing the Discord, a lot of people reach out to him. But there are other people doing things, and these are, who you guys should be reaching out to. Because me and Shade aren't always available. We've been available for this off season, and
most of the time after 9 o'clock at night, you're not going to get a hold of me.
Right, and most of the
Maybe
time
on the weekends.
after 7 a.m., you're not going to get a hold of me. I work nights, Shade works days, but we have a group of owners that really covers 24/7. You should be able to get a hold of someone if you have an issue. But as far as specific duties, we'll go through those real quick. That's to start. Reason you've seen me a lot, I'm in charge of off-season acquisition, structure, scheduling, and the podcast. You guys will see me most during the off season. In season, I am a manager and player. That's going to be more of my focus. And plus, the league kind of runs itself once you get it all set up. Shade, you want to tell them what you're doing?
I'm basically just handling the finances, collecting money from people and all that, doing this here podcast and anything to do with Discord, helping set up. I do have Smurfy and Bard helping with that, but we'll go into their roles here in a second.
Yep. DK and Koala will be your transaction managers. So free agents, trades, tracking draft picks, things like that will all be on them. Posts about the rosters, they're the ones that did that. Those are the people you'll want to reach out to if you have a trade or free agent signing that you want to go with.
Yeah, no, nothing changed there. I did transactions the last season we did with DK. DK's really good to get a hold of and do that, and Koala seems to be on top of things. We got Boomer, who's leading up the design team. There's a few of them in there. We don't have them on the
because I'm not 100% sure of what people did, but I know he's worked with like Sixfold a little bit. I know there was conversation about
Sixfold, Nels. Doggo helps him in there.
Yeah.
I've done stuff with him, but I'm more on the merch side than anything. But yeah, Boomer's leading up the design, but he's also part of that stream team with Doggo, who leads up that. But yeah, Boomer design is his main thing.
Yes, and that he's your first point of contact. So if he's going to delegate a task out to Sixfold or Nels, it's going to come from him. So reach out to Boomer if you guys have any design questions.
Right.
Shay did bring up a good point. If you guys have merch questions, if you have merch requests, DM Shade.
Yeah, hit me up.
You can also DM me, just because him and I are going to counter each other because we work opposite hours. So if you have a question late at night, gamer hours, go ahead and DM me and maybe I can answer it quick. If not, I'm going to refer you to Shade. During the daytime, sun's up, message Shade.
And Bacon and I talk all the damn time, so.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
But yeah, merch, I mean, we're working on a 8-bit jersey. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to where you guys can put your names on there, but if you're interested in having a name on it, you'll be messaging me. I can get it loaded onto the site with your information on there so you can buy it, kind of thing. Same with a hoodie if you want that.
Oh, yes. All the requests for hoodies and hats. Those are coming, guys. I
just need to know what you want, and I can make it.
Yes. So yeah, we'll in the description for this on YouTube and Spotify, I'll put a link to the 8-bit store that we're using. You guys can go check it out. We posted team links the other day.
US only.
Yeah, it is US only for now.
For now. Sadly.
The site we're using is Coming International. They have everything built to do so. It's just not live.
And the only reason we went to them we were using Bonfire, is just the amount of things they have. They have a lot of different options that Bonfire didn't have, and quality seems to be a little higher. So,
absolutely. But we did post in your guys' team chats a link to Team Water Bottles. That was the first thing we went with. People asked me, why water bottles? Well, easy to put a logo on. And yeah, you gotta hydrate or die. And that was I think that was more for Shade to flex what he could do, seeing how quickly he could get things customized, and put out 24 different items. So now he did it on water bottles. That's given him the confidence to be able to do it on the hoodies that you guys are wanting, or hats, things like that. They've got boxers, phone cases, all the things. Game pads. That was the one thing we were upset about, because Anomaly's request was like a big mouse pad for his desk. Made it look so good on there, and he can't do it because he's in Canada. But all the things are on there, so definitely reach out to Shade for that. Just like we did last time, we got distracted before the final two. Jay is going to be your statistician. Smurfy has very much streamlined that for him.
Is it working correctly?
It seems to be. We're going to find out next week. But Jay is going to maintain stats. We will have Barl as well. That's going to help with the overall process. We're going to have everything all inclusive, what you guys are used to. It's just going to be streamlined, updated all the time. And yeah, so Jay will be doing stats and posting that for you guys. It is what it is. Week 1, the same as week 11, right? So that's what we're trying to get to. And Ben right now, his task is going to be moderation. We ran out of tasks. So Ben is supposed to be monitoring the Discord, so that the other 6 people do not have to. And he's.
But we are.
Yeah, we are. But that's if you have an issue or if you think something's inappropriate in the wrong place, things like that, message Ben. Ben will be quick to drop the hammer and get it taken care of.
He'll be the one banning you people. So.
Yes, he will. Ben is the big bad wolf. So.
Yeah. And then we have Smurfy. He's not an owner, but he's doing a ton for this community in the IT department. He's made crazy bots that are doing scheduling, casting assignments, the stats. He's working on the pick'ems to have currency, because there's been a big push for that, which I told you guys there would be. So happy about that. He's been amazing for this community. So big props to him. He's also helping with streaming when he can here and there. So, but yeah, big props to him. Show him all the love, even if he's annoying sometimes.
Hey, yeah, you take what you can get with Smurfy. But it in general is very much becoming one of my favorite people. He just wants to hang out.
That's for sure.
And the work that we would not have gotten to this as quickly as we have without Smurfy.
Nope.
And as fluid and seamless, I don't think we would have hit a 100 player base if registration wasn't that easy. So Smurfy is a huge cornerstone as to how this came together so quickly. So
registration, I forgot about that. That was epic. How quickly he got that together.
Yeah, clutch moves. But yeah, as Shade said, with him being the streamer, we do have a stream team. That was something that that was one of our issues with U3, was it all got put on Doggo, and he didn't have a lot of support. And that can be a little backhanded, because I could have supported Doggo, even though I couldn't have. I didn't have the time to. So it's hard to say, oh, well, they're putting all this on Doggo. It's not them. It's just that Doggo was doing it, and the people that wanted to stream weren't showing up. So we made it a point to make sure we built a team of people that could help cover. Case in point, Bard claiming the first game. So that Doggo didn't have to. People forget, Doggo is also a player. We want peak Doggo in Prism. So if he's having to worry about casting all 12 games, how are you going to get that peak player?
And to be fair, I think most of the stream team are also players. Other than Bard, Bard chose to not be put into the league this go around. So
right. But Doggo is essentially our content manager. He builds graphics for the streams. He will be most likely who we fall back on for big highlight games. I would anticipate seeing him a fair amount throughout the playoffs, championships, type things like that.
Unless he's in it.
Unless he's in it.
Then I think the next guy would be Couch.
I mean, the whole team is great. Couch, Bard, Code. These are guys you're familiar with. These are guys that picked up the slack when Doggo wasn't able to in the past. And they've each taken turns through these scouting scrims and shown they can be a part of that. They can deliver the right content and cast well. We've got one login. It's shared with all of them. So it's nothing for them to be able to hop on, do the two-factor authentication, and run the stream. We do have a new guy. Got to get him his roles and get him introduced to the team. Lil Mello brought us a guy. That voice guy. You guys haven't heard him or seen him yet, but we're definitely going to...
Have you heard him?
I have not heard him. So, and
he better have a voice.
He asked me if I wanted to do an interview, and I was like, I kind of want to wait till stream. So, I don't know. But I'm going to probably leave that to Doggo. Doggo's the content manager. He has a lot of passion for the stream. That's why Doggo takes it upon himself to make the graphics that you guys see and will see throughout the season. Doggo shows a passion for the stream, and we have to appreciate that and lean on that. That's not to say we can't make graphics, but man, when we could be in our Google Sheet, do our work, pop out, go back in. Doggo's done prettyfied everything. Makes it clean, sleek, easy to read, look at, and it's stuff that's easily transferable to the stream. So he's done a phenomenal job with that, and that's going to be his team. And they're going to tackle season 1, which
I just want to put a spotlight on Couch. He absolutely loves this community, and just show him love. Get over to his he streams on his own account as well all the time. Go give him love. He deserves it for everything he does for us. Great guy. Keep it up.
Big time. Yeah, he just hit a stream anniversary.
Oh really?
Yeah. So he's been doing it.
He's streaming currently. Let's off to my side.
Oh, wicked. But yeah, so those are the people. You guys can always reach out to anyone for anything. But pointed questions, do not be shocked if you are told to reach out to DK and Koala if you have a transaction question, or to me if you have a scheduling question, or Shade if you have a financial question, which I wouldn't anticipate you having.
Yeah, don't get a hold of me.
Yeah. The money's there for the prize pools, which, Shade, I don't think we've announced.
Oh, shoot. I thought everyone knew.
We have not. So, each owner is putting in a fair share of the prize pool. And that is going to be...
What?
I don't know. You sound like you're about to say something.
No, never.
So we had talked that we wanted prize pools to be increased from what you guys were used to, and that's what we're delivering. So the Prism League first place team will receive $400, and the first place team in Pixel will receive $300. These numbers are always subject to change based on donations and how well the Twitch does. Because beyond the prize pool, we do have some funds that go into operating the league. We pay for a server that runs the bot that Smurfy does, the design software, ball chasing.
Yeah.
All these little things. But those are separate from the prize pool. The prize pool will at minimum always be split 7 ways, easy peasy. The money that we make from Twitch is probably going to go towards those operating costs. When we exceed that, money goes to the prize pool. We want to grow it for you guys, and that's, it might be incrementally, depends on what it is. But that's what we want to do. We want to put it back on you guys because you guys are driving the content and allowing us to make that money. But those are the prize pools. We had not talked about that really with a whole lot of people yet. So
yeah, no one's even asked really.
No, they haven't. And I was thinking
it's just like, we're here, let's go.
Yeah, I was thinking that the other day, and I love that. I don't, it's not life-changing money by any means, but hey, if you happen to have a good season, well, in 3.5, 4 months, you might be receiving about $100, and that's kind of dope. So I know when Shade and I won back in season 2, the payout was 60 or 70 something. Yeah. Like I went on vacation right after the championship, so that 60 or 70 something hit. Shit, that was a souvenir.
I think we were both on vacation.
Yeah, so it was just cool. But those, you won't have questions really about financials. That's what we were talking about. Like when you win, Shade's gonna send you the money. We'll just need PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, whatever it ends up needing to be.
Pretty much anything work.
Yeah, so there's not really going to be questions for financials. But if you have questions about merch, that's Shade's job. So, but there's your people. There's your things. Let's get into league stuff, yeah?
League things like the draft that just happened?
What an amazing draft. We had a 2-night draft.
Just about a week ago?
Yeah,
just about?
Just about. We had a 2-night draft. We kicked it off with the Pixel draft. And then finished it up on Saturday with the Prism draft. Both nights were phenomenal. We had a great team on stream. We did the camera things. Doggo was running it, popping in the cameras here and there. It was, it was an event. I had so much fun doing it, and yeah, the drafts went relatively seamless. Not really any issues.
Yeah, very smooth.
We had a couple managers that had maybe some connection issues, so times ran a little long, but it wasn't anything egregious.
Boomer.
Yeah, boomer. But, the picks got in, the teams got made, and yeah, we have a competitive ass season ahead of us.
I think both leagues are going to be pretty competitive, so...
Agreed.
It'd be nice.
The whole thing kicked off on Friday with for some people unexpected, but in general expected first overall pick to the Lansing Warriors being Unfo.
Yeah, I don't know who else it would have been.
I was shocked just because I had talked to Adam. There were some different names, and then he just reversed course and went with the obvious pick and took Unfo. I do think he's better off for it. Unfo's very deserving. I was just talking to Unfo about an hour and a half ago. We're talking about him being Prism, Pixel, this and that. And that was a major conversation throughout the offseason. Decisions were made, and Unfo is here. So we're going to see how it goes with Pixel. And he's not the only one with that. There's a lot of talent in Pixel that could very much flirt that line. But Unfo, very deserving of the first overall pick.
Yeah, there
Pixel.
has to be a cutoff somewhere. So
exactly. And then Shade, we had the Prism draft on Saturday. How'd that go?
I thought it went as it should have, and Doggo going first overall to the Lincoln Sentinels, managed by our boy Jay.
Yeah, and that's one, you said the as expected thing. I think a lot of people expected a different name to be here.
I expected.
as Shade expected.
Knowing Jay, I expected Doggo there.
I think a lot of people expected Hallow here, given that, all of the managers everybody has it, but all of the managers had direct access to the trackers. Hallow is clearly the highest ranked guy in the server, and Jay didn't take him. I think Jay took Doggo as it's a comfort pick. He knows Doggo. Right. He knows that. I think Jay also had an anticipation of who he might have to take last, and maybe thought that Doggo would be a strong pairing with that person. but that's not how it worked out anyway. But Doggo, very deserving of the 1 overall. And, I mean, it's when you're talking Prism specifically, the skill gap is not that big. Hallow's a little bit of an anomaly, but not really.
Is he?
I mean, he's like, wait, not anomaly is a bad word. Max, change your name. He's way up there, but there's so many people way up there too, and it's just crazy. Anybody could have gone here, but was very happy that it was Doggo. That Doggo's a homie. So
honestly, going through that Prism draft, there wasn't a bad team assembled. They're all going to be competitive. So
absolutely. We will touch on the last picks of the draft in Pixel. The very final pick of the draft to the Lansing Warriors was Skull. And I'm going to be honest, talking about a lower league, if you're getting Skull as the final pick of the draft, that skill gap is not that big. I know we have some free agents that are a little bit lower ranked than that, but they're there. They're going to be given opportunities, and we've seen that compete before. So Skull here, I was very happy to see him land on a team. He's been around us a long time. He's not the most active with us, but he's always around. He pops into VC every now and then, and he's a good dude. So that was your final pick for the Pixel draft.
In the Prism draft, the final pick was made by Miami Nocturnal Hurricanes. And there's no free agents in Prism, so everyone was drafted. So the final pick was our guy Lemon. He went there. We'll touch on what that meant for the team later on here.
Yeah.
And the manager of the Hurricanes there is Chronicle, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
And that's, this one, the last pick thing, doesn't carry as much because everybody was getting drafted. I do think this was probably the worst kept secret, is that people generally expected Lemon to be the final pick of the draft. And that's a personality thing.
And I thought that was kind of wild, personally.
Yeah, good player. We've talked on past episodes about Lemon in threes. The rotations aren't there, so there is some criticism from the play style, but he's definitely talented. Maybe his mouth gets the best of him, and some people can't handle that. I'm just hoping teams can let it be on the field. Let's see what happens. Let the gameplay speak for itself. And don't ever forget you have a banter chat. Keep it in banter. So that'll be that. But yeah, is there any picks that surprised you, Shade? Let's start with Pixel. Any Pixel picks that surprised you?
Well, you picking me was a surprise because I thought maybe you get a better player there and then come back and get me, because we obviously talked before the draft, but turns out you did it in the right order. So
yes, I had actually had that moment after the draft that I was like, oh, maybe I should have done this or that, whatever.
Right.
But it turns out, like, Adam tried to pick Shade at 12 in the second round.
Which would have been my shocking pick. I love you, Adam. But I was not expecting that to be a thing.
Yeah.
No.
But my surprising pick, honestly, was Defane at 2. And it shouldn't be a surprise, because that's a comfort pick for Pick Cop. But that's high. And Defane, as much as we all love Defane even is hard on himself as a player. So going second overall was a little wild, but comfort matters. I've taken Koala, I've taken Shade. I draft homies, people I'm
Worked
comfortable
out great
with.
Too.
Yeah, we made the playoffs. So, but yeah, to me it was probably Defane.
That's fair. I mean,
outside of that, people kind of went to script. Even Lord Neo taking Koala in the first round. the way Lord Neo plays, Koala had a great scrim season, and why not? Koala put himself above a lot of those guys I'm looking at in the second round just with how he played in the scrims. So if Lord Neo was watching, that's what he saw. And
yeah, but Koala's a choke artist, so
there it is. What about the Prism League? Anything surprise you there? This one's tougher because the talent is just crazy.
Apparently everyone's going to be surprised by the first pick. Except for me. I called it when we were doing it. I knew he was going doggo. Without even talking to him. Other than that, I'm looking at it and not really.
I had one. The New York Nightmares taking Beef at 7. And not because Beef went 7, but because it was a pick right before Boss's team drafted.
Yeah, that's fair. That was a good move.
Yeah, somebody went
those two apart.
Right out there to steal Beef from Boss.
That's Kilo, right?
Yeah. And then in the second round, Boss took Koa before Kilo could pick. So yeah. They kind of did it to each other, and it was funny. But both teams ended up phenomenal. Kilo, Beef, and Mello, and then Boss, Ezio, and Koa. Just wonderful teams full of homies. These are stacked rosters. So, but that did catch me off guard. I expected Beef to go to Boss's team. I'd have lost money on that bet. So.
Sorry, had dogs and kids run through here.
And this is what happens when when we do things. It's all good. Looking at team rosters here. Let's go to Pixel. Let's focus on them for a second. Let's do the other thing first. Power rankings are coming. You guys want power rankings?
Yeah.
We don't like power rankings. I think they're stupid. Standings over power rankings all day. But you guys want power rankings, so we have 2 teams that are going to be bringing these to you. Doing the Pixel power rankings are going to be Prism players and vice versa. We do not want bias. So the
little of that as we can.
Yeah, as little as we can. The Pixel rankings will be done by Samu, Vice, and Mincy, and the Prism rankings will be done by DK, Unfo, and Liam.
I just want to say big props to the Prism guys who said that they're gonna do those rankings for the Pixel guys. I know that's got to be kind of difficult because you're in a higher rated league. You're kind of you're coming to look at what is. I mean, I'm in it, so you're looking at a worse game of Rocket League with these lower rankings compared to what you're in. I didn't think we were going to get a lot of people who wanted to do it, but those 3 stepped up, and I appreciate that.
Big time, and that's a good point to stress. Like, you guys in Prism, you don't have free agents. If someone bails on your team or is that unavailable, your free agents are coming from lower. So be mindful of how much you pay attention to Pixel and a semblance of the respect you give there. I'm not anticipating all 50 plus players to be available for you, but you don't want to burn bridges. Plus, some of those guys could end up moving up to Prism in the future. But those are your power rankings, so we're not really going to be involved with that. But here on the podcast, we will talk about the power rankings, possibly even have some of those guys on for them to talk about how they got to certain decisions. But to start, we are going to touch on what we believe is the most stacked team and the least
not stacked
team.
They forgot to stack.
They did not stack. Or at least they're not stacked as much.
They made a line.
Well,
they didn't stack up.
Right, exactly. So we'll start with Pixel here. Shade, do you have any idea who you think is the most stacked team?
I would have to say my most stacked team is either going to be Havoc or Demons. I like both those teams look. I might lean towards Demons here. Yeah, I'm going to lean towards Demons.
Okay. Demons are tough, 1 through 4.
You got DK. That's Banks, right? And then Cookie Monster and Real Royce.
That's a squad.
I think that could be a tough team to have to deal with.
I'm looking. I want to have a different answer.
I mean, Eclipse could be as well. Those 3 are tough.
That is.
In my mind.
I'll cop out. I'm going to give it to Havoc. That was my initial feeling with there. I know Frosty being on the roster, it puts their 4 kind of below other teams. But that boy, every now and then, he comes out and competes to where he could be a 3 on other rosters, and he's just inconsistent with it. But I think Yak and Sly are a duo above most. I don't know enough about Pinky, but what I've seen, I very much love. That's somebody I would consider a 3rd for a roster any day. I've liked what I've seen out of Pinky, so I think Havoc are probably my strongest.
What about your lined up team?
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like this part.
I'm gonna say it because I know he can handle it. I'm gonna go with Boston. I think the combination of Defane's lack of confidence and Pitcop's shaky mental and Were Tiger's sometimes lack of comms could hurt that roster.
Now, what about Nerd Justin? Could he pick things up for them?
Absolutely. But can Nerd Justin play as a teammate? We scrimmed Boston. I scrimmed Boston with a couple other players. And it was a lot of Nerd Justin wanting to do his own thing. And you just got to go up and get in their face. We've seen that. We've talked about it on this podcast. Back in U3 when we would play against Anomaly or Code, somebody like that, all you got to do is get up in their face. And then what? Then you're asking Pitcop to beat you, which he absolutely can. Or you're asking Defane to beat you, which he absolutely can. But in that moment, is Defane's confidence good? Is Pitcop's mental good? I don't know. I think there's a lot.
I'm worried about rotations with that team.
Yes. And I don't think they're weak by any means because they can play the game. I just think it has the most question marks for me. If Pitcop as a manager erases those question marks, that team's dangerous. But as of right now, today, preseason, that's my least stacked team. You?
I don't like it. I don't like doing this part. And looking at all the teams, it's very hard to do. Very hard. But I don't want to cop out and say the same thing you said. So.
Oh, shit.
Did you just delete things?
Nope. We're good.
Sheesh. So I'm going to go with Illusion.
Haha! Fuck you, Smurfy.
Just because it's Smurfy, really. I mean, Louis hit or miss. You know, when he's hitting, he's hitting. But when he's missing, you might as well have me out there. You know, so. And Smurfy, that's the same thing. He needs. I mean, Qual and I played a lot with him recently, and homie doesn't know what a rotation is on defense to save his life. So, you know, they got some work, I think.
That's true.
But I was definitely either saying them or I was going to say Fallen because just fuck you, Koala. Going to the second round.
I do think Smurfy's team can be very strong. I love ZBio. That's had he been there in the second round, I probably would have went with him and then tried to see if I could get Shade in the third because me and Shade had talked about doing that. And then somebody took Bio, so it just didn't work out. But for Smurfy's team, as far as I know, he does not have his fourth available, at least as of today. So we'll see what happens with all that. But solid pick. Let's go to Prism, where it's a little bit less personal for us. So I'll start with most stacked here.
So most stacked coming out of draft?
Coming
or
out of the
most
draft.
stacked now?
Coming out of the draft.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to go with the Oklahoma City Phantoms. I'm a big Sweezy and Kells fan.
Really?
I am. I'm a big Kells fan. I love the way Kells plays Rocket League. I think Sweezy is a phenomenal complement to that. We've seen Sweezy pair with Ben before, and what Sweezy can bring when he doesn't have to be the guy. And then there's Code. So now Code is in a situation where he doesn't have to carry, but he's going to have.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah, he's going to have the defensive freedom to be able to go for those mechie plays. And yeah, I'm like 1 through 3. I am very excited to see that team and what they're able to do. It was either them or Havana for me. Mincy, Nels, and Gerds. Again, Nels is my favorite TikToker. Mincy is a phenomenal player. Hell, Gerds is a phenomenal player. I'm curious to see Gerds play at this level. That I have a question mark, so that's why I didn't pick Havana. But Oklahoma City, most stacked out of the draft. Fight me.
I don't want to fight you. That's kind of. I mean, you kind of threw out one of the ones I was looking at was High Flyers, but I also like the Hornets with Boss, Ezio, and Koa. I think that's a good team.
Yeah, we talked about that team a little bit in the draft about having that defensive wall with Boss and Ezio, and just letting Koa
You know me,
go.
I'm a defensive guy. So
if they can properly rotate as a 3-man team, because Koa is no slouch on defense either, especially at speed. When he has to slow down, he forgets the back post a little bit. He knows that.
There's a surprising amount of guys and gals in this league that they've never met the back post.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The amount of people I see go middle inside the goal blows my mind.
It happens, man. I like the pick of Houston. Fuck you. That's a good one. Okay. Least stacked and upper. Who you got?
Least stacked and upper? Oh, this is one of the bad times again. I don't like it. I'd probably have to go, and it's just product of where they picked Mafia. So, like, coming out of the draft, I didn't know of, what's his name?
It'd been Defs or Matt.
Defs, yeah. So.
Okay. My least stacked coming out of it's going to be Kyoto.
Rude.
I was a critiquer of Nate Dogg and KX in the previous league, and now they're on the same team again. So
but they got a pretty logo,
right? But like,
you gotta give logo points, bro.
It's a beautiful logo, but to me, those two were on a team playing against C2s and C1s, and they didn't win. So now they're on a team playing against GC1s and 2s and 3s and an SSL. Are they going to be better playing at that speed? I believe that. That's why they're in Prism. If I had any doubt of that, we would have tried to knock them down and moved a couple other guys up. I think they can do it, especially with Higgs in there. I love Higgs. I love the way Higgs plays threes. So I think it could, but that, you asked me to pick a least stacked. That's what it's going to be.
I mean, I didn't ask you. This was your question.
That's fine. I asked myself, and and here it is.
Don't act like you were forced.
I was not. But I mean, they're all homies. I hope it works. I want to see them connect and prove me wrong. Anything negative I say, prove me wrong. I will be your biggest supporter in proving me wrong. So go for it, Kyoto.
Before we move on to anything else, I do want to touch on there are permanent free agents in both leagues. Just a little shout out to those guys. And Pixel, we got, I don't even know how to say that.
Cukesy.
Cukesy. Okay, Cukesy and Q are permanent free agents down there. If you need somebody, reach out to them in Pixel. I guess technically, Prism guys can reach out to those guys too. Yeah,
They can. Yeah.
I'll see why not.
Every bit of Pixel is available to Prism managers.
You got all the free agents, players, and permanent free agents. So, but specifically Prism permanent free agents, we got Red Guy, Sun Pigeon, QP Jedi, QP, and Anomaly. So,
yes,
I mean, there's talent in permanent free agents as well.
absolutely. And before we get any questions about Anomaly, because it really hasn't been announced, Anomaly is a non-playing manager in Pixel. He got internet back kind of late into this whole process. So the decision was made to allow him to be a PFA for Prism this season. We fully anticipate him playing Season 2 and being in Prism. That's fine. But to allow him to be a PFA, because we do kind of have some restrictive PFA rules for Prism, so it's not going to be crazy. But to give Anomaly a chance to be able to play at that level allowed him to be able to be a PFA there and a non-playing in Pixel. So there's that for you. Anomaly's a guy. He got a big 8N tattoo on his chest. We had to show him the love.
So cool. So cool.
But yeah, those are your PFAs. Your free agents that showed up for the draft and the scrims. We got Arrowblade, Glidiath, It's Bussin', Coco left the server, Kaipo, Reknite Wolf, Richie Skates, Shadow Cobra, Speedy Duck, Sixy, and Terrence. A lot of homies on that list. A lot of people who very easily could be on a roster. It's just we had so much talent come out. You guys killed it in registrations. Somebody's going to be a free agent. But you guys stay active. We've always talked about on this podcast how much turnover there is on teams as people start to see availabilities, a la Smurfy right now with his sub. Free agents, be active. Boomer's running King of the Hill. You guys are more than welcome to build teams for that or be part of teams with active players. Those are not team locked. It is literally 3 people. 1 Prism, 2 Pixels, or 3 Pixels, whatever. Run it. Try to take that King of the Hill title.
Yeah, you get a little title in Discord.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's a cool little emblem of the 8N with a crown on it.
Exactly. It's so cute. Let's see. And demure. So.
Is it?
No.
Okay.
Whatever. So.
Cringe, my friend.
Whatever. You know, what's life without a little cringe? We've already had transactions, Shade.
Yeah. I'm not happy about these transactions, but we had them.
Yeah.
We had them.
Apparently, there was some beef. There was some pre-draft beef. 2 specific people did not vibe very well, and then they happened to be drafted to the same team. So this led to a trade. Florida receives Matt and a 3rd round pick, and Miami receives Yami and a 2nd round pick.
So those rosters got a little mix up early.
They did, which instantly makes Florida kind of a stacked team, which is why Shade made it a point to say right after the draft. I think Florida will be a good roster, and I think Miami will be a very strong roster. I love Yami. And if
I think Florida might be stacked, but how many stacked teams have we seen in the leagues that we've been in? I know we're not part of that U3 stuff anymore. Still have all the love and respect for YJ and stuff, but that league's no more. But when we were there, how many stacked teams did we see take it all? You know, like they get upset just like anybody else can, and all you have to do is take a series from them in playoffs.
Absolutely,
and you're good to go.
But I think Yami is a great enough player to pair with Lemon in Miami, and I think that roster is going to be just as strong as if they'd have kept Matt. We'll see. So a lot of people are really high on Matt, so curious to see what he does with Samu and them. And then we did have a player who registered and just didn't want to do it and didn't tell us beforehand. So as to not dick over
Pretty
the LA
cool move.
Mafia, yeah. Gino effectively retired, and we had the LA Mafia sign Dinks. Dinks thought he was registered by being in the server, but was not. So we did make him a PFA because it was kind of late into the pre-draft process. So we made him a PFA, and now he gets an opportunity to play with Baca and Depths. So, which I think is huge. Dinks is a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he would not, if we had free agents up there, he would not have been a free agent long. So that, it is what it is. I think Dinks is more of a homie than Gino, so peace out. That's where I'm at.
You think? I mean, I don't even know who Gino is.
Gino, yeah. That's fair.
Not a homie.
So, that's going to be that. But to that point, you guys have seen in your team chats, I've popped in there here and there to try to remind some people to communicate. Talk to your managers. Managers talk to your players. Managers talk to each other. It's not hard. This is only going to be successful if communication happens. I promise you, lack of communication, we will replace you. It's that simple. Because the time that goes into this, not just owners and IT and all that, the managers, the time they put in, setting up scrims, setting up the games, planning, they're choosing to take this seriously. As silly as it is, it's a video game, but they are choosing to make their time serious about this. The least that players can do is communicate.
It is just a video game, but you are playing for some money.
Yes.
And pride. I mean, take some pride. If you're going to sign up and do something, fucking do it.
Yep. We implore communication. Because that's as managers are only going to give you so many chances, and then they're going to go to an owner, and we're just going to replace.
It's not hard to communicate and just say, hey, this is my availability. If we can make it work, awesome. If not, hit up one of those permanent free agents or a free agent for a one-day type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure it out.
Absolutely. It's going to be sick. Those are our teams. Those are our rosters, and we are on the cusp of week 1 shade, and we are bringing back predictions.
We are. Speaking of predictions, there is a bot for a pick'ems, which is essentially predictions. Once it goes live, I believe Smurfy each week will tell you when it goes live for certain games. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't know. So, but moving on, we do have game of the weeks and stuff. Our game of the week for Pixel should be Luxor Honolulu, just because father son. But us being on Luxor, we didn't want to put us as game of the week, so we gave it to Erie and Incheon. We should really put just team names on here. We got Eclipse and Illusion going against each other. That's Boomer and Smurfy as managers. They've always had a back and forth, those two.
Oh God, it's a semi-love but very much hate relationship.
It really is.
They're so toxic together, but they
every
work.
Chance they get to be a little poke at each other, they take it.
But I do take it a little bit as passion, especially as we've been talking about the league thing. They both care. And then just the little things about each other sets the other one off. It's comedy.
They're too much alike.
Yeah, it's comedy to sit. Oh, you just pissed both of them off. But it's comedy to sit back and watch. But they are both homies, and I love when I can be in a VC with both of them and they're not at each other's throat, because of what they both bring to the table. A lot of passion, a lot of fun. So this matchup here is going to have ramifications for the whole season. The shit talking that will ensue from this matchup,
man,
is
especially
peak.
if Boomer loses. That's a problem for him.
we're going to have to ban Smurfy if Inchin wins this matchup because he's going to program the bot or some shit to just remind Boomer. It's what's going to... He's done already thought about it.
Oh, no.
Smurfy's a domestic terrorist. He has a list of things to torment people.
He has been very, very good since him and I had a little talk about not trolling. You know,
no.
There's times.
He just does it when you go to bed now. No, he doesn't do
it as much.
He programmed the bot that we paid the server for to kick Lemon out every time he joined a VC.
That was it. That was before my talk with him. That was before.
So ridiculous.
That was just to test how his bot what it could do, you know?
Smurfy is a terrorist here, so I am taking Erie in the face of terrorism. Go Boomer.
Well, then I'm switching, and in support of Smurfy's terrorism, I take Illusion.
Notice he said switching. He had Erie before that.
I did. I'm showing support. You know, there's a battle there. Let's make it interesting. Smurfy, don't let me down, man. I got you.
Well, these are two managers that have historically let us down when picking their teams. So one of them is going to keep up the trend here for one of us.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Boomer lets you down.
Well, hopefully
I don't have to
Smurfy
take the L.
lets you down and feels sadness.
He would never.
Well, like Shade said, that was our game of the week. We do have one notable matchup that we're doing for Pixel, and that's going to be Luxor versus Honolulu, father versus son. I mean, solid rosters against each other. So, yeah, I'm gonna take Luxor. I'm not picking against my team in the first.
Yeah,
week.
You definitely should never pick against yourself. Ever. That'd be wild.
Who are you picking, Shade?
I'm taking the better team on paper. And that's Honolulu.
Shade's on the trade block. I will be accepting offers.
You gotta be realistic, you know. Just putting the better team out there. We could win. We can do it.
I ain't realistic on shit. Shampoo is the top player in Pixel. I will say that now. Deal with it.
Okay, but...
And I am no slouch. You are my guy. Pitch is my pitch. Here we are. Not losing a game. Fuck 'em. Boom. Sorry, Liam, but that's just what it is. Yeah. The game is being played at a time that accommodates both Shade and EU people, but it's being played early enough to where I don't get a sleepy Shade. Honolulu is screwed.
I mean, that's fair.
Yep.
Every time we've scrimmed, I've been extremely sleepy.
Exactly. So, easy dubs. Our next matchup is Lansing versus Birmingham. This is the Warriors versus the Bandits. Adam's team against Couches. I struggled here. We've scrimmed Birmingham a lot. But I'm going to give the edge in week 1 to the team with Unfo, and that's going to be Lansing.
Well, I mean, you're allowed to be wrong again. That's going to be...
Shade is having crashes and bangs happening in his house. Yeah. Look at him. He's so mad right now. I know he's good.
But the fucking dogs, man.
Animals.
Anybody want a pit? Get him out of here. All right, what'd you take?
I took Lansing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're allowed to be wrong, and I took Birmingham. Yeah, that's right.
This should be a phenomenal matchup. I almost put it as game of the week. I do think Ren and Couch will be able to pace Unfo, but I think Unfo will be able to make the difference. So, our next matchup is Boston versus KC. This is the Peregrine Falcons versus the Foxtrotters. Pitcop against Diabeto Brett. And even though I said I think they were my least stacked team, I think week 1, Pit
That's
Cop's gonna
confusing.
they're gonna erase enough of the question marks, as I said, to take the dub against KC.
It's so weird to go into week 1 and having your weakest team beat your not weakest team.
Well, I also thought that you'd pick KC, so that's why I was picking Boston here. I was trying to sneak one in, but
well, no, because KC was down low for me. They were below Boston for me, so I'm taking Boston. Very easy. Next game we have is Monarchs versus Missouri. And I went with Monarchs.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got what? Gardens, Yeet, and Amazing Cheeto as their top 3, right?
They do. And this, I mean, Gardens is another one that had a phenomenal scrim season. I keep calling it that. That's kind of what it was.
Scrim season.
Scrim season. And I mean, I hadn't seen Gardens play super well in a while. And man, he just hadn't. Like, when we first joined RLGLA, Gardens was the number 1 overall pick. And then
that man was all-star sub on my all-star team my first season.
Exactly. We subbed him in to try to get some play time, and then we're told we couldn't sub again, so Shade had to miss the rest of the All-Star game.
Terrible rules.
Gardens was that guy, and then it's like Gardens didn't have necessarily time for it anymore. That's what it felt like. And
yeah,
I could be wrong.
that's what happened.
And that's what happened. And then I know Gardens played last season, but I felt like Gardens kind of got lost in the shuffle with that team. But here, Gardens gets to shine. Gardens very much could and should be in the conversation when we talk about the Unfo or the Shampoos. Like, he's up there. So yeah, I think Anomaly got a steal here with his first overall pick, and I've got the Monarchs.
Right on. Then we go to who I said was the most stacked team in the Deadwood Demons versus New Mexico Fallen, who probably had the best name in the league, I think. And I took Deadwood because they're the best.
I've also got Deadwood. I think it could be a great match. I think a lot of people have Banks a little bit on a pedestal. So it's going to be, does he deliver, or will the chaos of New Mexico take over? Because I think that team is chaotic. I think they're going to be very difficult to game plan against. But I think Banks will be able to do enough to take the series as well. Deadwood.
Right on. Well, that's all the Pixel games. Yeah.
That is all the Pixel games.
That'll be to the Prism League.
Yep.
What's our game of the week?
Our game of the week for Prism is going to be St. Petersburg versus Houston. This is, where'd it go? The Wave versus the Hornets. This is going to be a phenomenal game right off the rip. I went with St. Petersburg. I think the combination of Hallow as a 2K player with Sixfold, and that's no slight to Appa, but I've been a big Sixfold fan, so giving her a true 1 above her, that team's going to be dangerous. I look for this series to go the distance. I hope it's 5. I want to see all the play. I love both teams, but St. Petersburg takes the dub.
So I kind of reversed you here. I gave Houston my stacked. But I went with the Wave because I'm in the Discord. I follow the Twitter. Gotta go with my guys and gals of the Wave. So that was more of a heart pick.
I respect that. So. I hope it's 5. That's what I want. I like both teams. I want to see a strong 5-game series.
Right on.
So
our notable game is our homies in Round Rock, not Round City, playing the Vikings of Vinland, and I took the Vikings. Just think there's going to be a little bit too much for them there.
Yeah, I'm interested.
And they have the better logo.
Shade made these picks based on logos, guys. I'm curious to see how well Verm, who is Heliostorm, communicates with the team during gameplay. Because of that, yeah, we'll see. Because of that question mark, I went with Ben and the Round Rock Rednecks. That's a Kaza. That's Ben. That's Linux. All homies, and it's a Kaza. He's just going to do things. We saw Kaza do all the things against C1s and C2s. He's going to do it here. Could have very well been the first overall pick, but wasn't. Round Rock for the dub.
Oh yeah, well, who you got? Lincoln versus Miami.
This is a fun matchup. But I have always picked Doggo until Doggo loses, so I'm going Lincoln.
Well, you better have a different team to pick next week because Miami's taking it.
That's a good deal with Miami, man. We'll see. Kyoto, my least stacked team, versus Florida, who is potentially the most stacked team right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we did it. We did it.
We did it. We went with Florida, guys. And please, Nate Dogg, Higgs, KX, beat them. Beat them.
As I told Samu, it's their season to lose in everybody's eyes. So don't disappoint us.
Yeah,
you got to show up.
Yep. So, but yeah, we did sweep there pretty convincingly. Our next match, Havana and Oklahoma City. This was a game of the week contender. Shade, who you got?
I went with Havana.
Mincy, Nels, and Girds.
Because they're gonna beat OKC. OKC was your stacked, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They're gonna take that out the first week, my buddy.
Yeah, they're not. Sweezy, Kells, and Code. I was. This is I want 5. I want both teams to win. I think in the right setting, Code is an absolute menace to have to deal with. So I'm curious how Mincy, Nels, and Gertz can
needs
stop
the
that.
Time.
And I think Sweezy and Kells give him the time. This is why they were my most stacked out of the draft. And why they're going to deliver this dub against Havana.
Well, looks like you're going to go down. You're going to go down heavy in week 1, just so you know.
Probably not.
So that's crazy.
Whatever.
But last game that we have to talk about is New York versus LA. And I think New York takes it.
Yeah, I love Baca, but got some questions about his team. See how they come out. But yeah, New York, Kilo, Beef, Mello, just a stack of homies. I have no doubt that the chemistry is going to be there day one. New York takes the dub here.
All right. Well, that would be all of them. That's all of our games.
It's all of our games. And that's gonna be the podcast. There's not a whole lot else going on. G2 is a pit of sadness. So
yeah, I don't know what's happening there. They did announce Major 1 though, didn't they? It's
yeah.
Overseas. We thought it was Alabama.
Yeah, it's gonna be in. It's not gonna be in Birmingham. It's gonna be in Birmingham. It's gonna be in England. So yeah, if you're over there, get your tickets. I won't be going. Especially because no G2. Yeah, that all sucks.
Confirmed?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened there? I didn't see it was confirmed. They were done.
Yeah, they are not anticipating participating in Rocket League. The players and Zathu will be free agents.
Oh. I missed a lot. Damn.
It's thought that they're all going to sign with NRG. I don't know if that's confirmed yet.
So we're NRG fans now?
I don't know.
Well, people, let us know who we should be fans of, because I need a team now.
I don't want to talk about it. It pisses me off. Link down below will be for the merch store. You guys definitely check that out. I'm also going to drop a link to the Twitch. If you're not following, hop over there and give a follow. Be ready for all the action. It starts Monday, November 11th. 7 p.m. will be the first game. And yeah, we will catch you guys next time.
Deuces.
Bye.